I have seen what you would call real ghosts, but what I've seen a lot more of are hoaxes, frauds, exaggerations, pareidolia, etc. There are a million ways to misidentify or fake paranormal claims, and today we're going to evaluate 5 potential cases and see if we can't debunk them. Coming up, we've got the haunted Horton Mine, Shadow Girl, the cloaked hotel ghost, the Moshpit Poltergeist, and last but not least, the White Lady of Worstead. If you like to see more videos like this debunked video, make sure to get this video to 100 likes. Like it with every single one of your YouTube accounts, because once I get that, I will make another top 5 debunks or deep dive just like this one. Also, make sure to subscribe, turn on all notifications, join as a member for loyalty badges, emojis, priority comment responses, and also I have a Patreon for a lot more perks where they came from. Without further ado, this is 5 claims of the paranormal, evaluated and potentially debunked. In 2013, the YouTube channel Exploring Abandoned Mines and Unusual Places uploaded a video titled The Horton Mine Encountering a Ghost in a Haunted Abandoned Mine, summer 2013. And it's not so much a ghost, but rather a swinging chain and a sinister narrative guiding the viewer into it. Now, this video has over 4 million views, and a lot of people are spooked out by it, so let's take a look.
But I just don't think it's wise to go in here when there's water. Try to avoid this if I can.
Wise man. This says up top, this mine tunnel also had a very creepy vibe to it. Good thing he's not going to go any deeper into this mine because it could be very unsafe.
Okay, a little further inside the tunnel here. There's still water. You can see it really flowing here in front of me, right here, and this coming out here, out the tunnel. Yeah, this looks pretty sketchy.
Yeah, it's pretty sketchy. That is a really sketchy tunnel, so
I think I'm going to pass on this way.
I'm glad he's not going to risk his life going any deeper into this.
This is one of the
super sketchy tunnel.
Creepiest mine tunnels I've ever been in, just because of how dilapidated it is and all these chains hanging down from the overhead.
Yeah, super dilapidated. Good thing he is not going in 1 foot more.
Still pretty wet.
Something that was sinister and something that definitely didn't want me going any further into the tunnel. So, like, again, I cannot emphasize, like, I'm glad he's emphasizing that he's not going any deeper into the tunnel.
And taking a look around here back at the entrance, which is the... Okay, here's a shot looking back towards the entrance. I'm a little bit further in. And looking down the tunnel here.
There it is. So we have a swinging chain. Yeah.
I don't know why that one chain is swinging back there.
I felt a sudden presence of something negative and otherworldly.
Don't know if you can see that in the video or not.
The ambient air temperature also seemed to suddenly drop all around me at this point, and I felt an even stronger negative presence ahead in the tunnel. Ambient air temperature dropping inside tunnels. It does kind of seem like, you know, I'm not a tunnel expert, but it does kind of seem like that would probably just naturally happen inside of tunnels. So we've got a swinging chain. It's not really a ghost. It's something that's moving. And as you know, fans of this channel, you know that things move on their own all the time. And it's not really on their own. There are natural things, natural forces in this world. Lots of forces are happening on everything. Everything is interacting with everything. And in this drafty cave, I don't know. I'm not saying that he is faking this, but sometimes we can get a good idea of whether a video is faked just by watching the content that's regularly produced by the person who originally posted. So this is another one of this guy's videos exploring another tunnel.
Do you hear that? Sounds like, what, is that wind? I don't know if you can hear that on the camera.
If that was really happening, that would be one of the creepiest things that you could experience.
Do you hear that?
Like alone, deep in a dark, pitch black
Stopped.
tunnel, and you hear these dark, horrible, terrible whispers coming from the tunnel.
I don't know what that is. That doesn't sound like wind, but that's crazy. Don't know if that's a bird or I don't know what that is. It almost sounds like snakes, but wow. I've heard some weird stuff in mines, but that is definitely creepy. I don't know what that is. So let's get out of here and head back out to the portal. That was weird.
You don't know what that is. I can tell you it's definitely not. If that was snakes, wow, that'd be terrible. But I can tell you that is definitely not birds or snakes. And this Frank dude, he does know what that is. And actually, he says in the description of this video right here, important note, the Science Channel aired an episode of their TV show Strange Evidence, which featured my Horton Mine video footage. The episode was titled The Devil's Mutant and aired in season 3 during June 2019. Check it out. The footage was analyzed by experts in various scientific fields. For those of you who don't believe in the footage, you will be disappointed with their consensus. Lol. Apparently the Science Channel didn't check this video to verify the trustworthiness of this guy.
Well, I don't know what that is. That doesn't sound like wind, but
without even doing an in-depth audio analysis of this video, it's clear that the same audio published in this video, Creepy Sounds Captured in an Abandoned Mine, is the exact same audio as Scary Whispers 1 posted on YouTube. Sorry, Abandoned Mines, dude. Like, you've been busted. So that said, I actually have, it might be an unpopular opinion, and because somebody's faking audio years later, that actually doesn't mean that he faked the swinging chain. We do know that he is willing to fake things, but this is my unpopular opinion. Maybe it's an unpopular opinion. What I know for a fact is that a lot of YouTubers start out with good intentions. They want to pursue their hobby, their passion, and what I think happened is that he actually did go into that first cave and he saw the swinging chain, and it was swinging. He didn't swing it, and it freaked him out. It was really weird. And then he posted that on YouTube, and he got a ton of views on it. And he thought to himself, maybe this could be something I could kind of cash in on. So let's kind of maybe recreate some more spooky videos. And then he kind of just dips his toe into the faking videos world, and he obviously got caught here. But I actually think the swinging chain was genuine. Meaning that I don't think it's paranormal. I don't think a ghost was swinging it. I'm sure it would have been very spooky, very creepy to see that. But there's so many things in the physical world that can be responsible for moving things seemingly invisible that aren't ghosts. So that said, this one is for sure, hands down, it's debunked. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that this guy ran up, moved the chain himself, and then ran back, turned around, and filmed? I don't know. I don't think he did. I think there was something in that cave actually moving the chain, and I think there are plenty of things that could account for it. But I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments below. this is Shadow Girl. I originally saw this on one of Nuke's top fives videos. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at what we got here. So it looks like they're recording the CCTV monitor, and they're talking with these two guys on the radio, it looks like, and they're telling him to like back up because they want him to interact with this what looks like a girl in a creepy shadow girl in a dress. And they're looking around, they're trying to find what they're looking at, but they don't see it. So I actually evaluated this one in one of my reactions over a year ago now, and Christopher Slinker has a really great explanation for this. Let's review what he had to say.
Boom. No, Christopher's got it. Look at this.
Oh
it
yeah.
looks like a little pipe on the ground, doesn't it?
The light is playing off of it. You can actually see it gives some definition to the form as it passes over.
It's just a Disney grade optical illusion.
Yeah, I think
actually at Radiator Springs. I'm in Anaheim.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. There's something on the floor. Even these swipes past, I'm sure you catch a little bit of it.
And that totally makes sense why they wouldn't, because the quality of video that the feed is getting is just going to be a black blob for them. They're going to be like, I see the pipe, I see the shadow of the pipe, but it's not going to look anything like that for them there on the floor. All these years of spatial drawing finally paid off.
You get to help me debunk videos. Christopher hit it on the head. So this object, there's some object on the ground right here. I don't know if it's a pipe, but it is something. And there's a light source right behind it, a pretty bright light source. And this is casting this shadow. It is a very... It's a perfect pareidolia. It really does look like a little girl standing there. But it's all this is, I can guarantee you, is it's a cast shadow that's on the ground. And the reason these two guys are so confused is because they don't see anything in front of them. They're shining their light around, and when they pass their flashlight over it, it is actually just going on the ground over the shadow. But then they move their lights away, and the shadow obviously comes back. But yeah, right here, there's a physical object on the ground or near to the ground, and that light is casting a shadow. And we, as very imperfect human beings, we see things that aren't there. And this has a very similar shape to like a girl in a dress. And that's what we want to see. So that's why this happens. And this type of stuff happens all the time. Every single day when you walk around, when you're in the grocery store, when you're driving in your car, so much of what comes into our eyes, it's really almost a deception, because like our brain is trying to process information in ways that make sense to it. And all we've ever had is our brain and the way that we perceive the world. And if there's something that like resonates or seems to be one thing with us, then that's to us what it becomes, even though it could be something completely different, completely not even what you think it is. And this happens all the time. And unfortunately, stuff like this is what makes up, I want to say, like 95 to 99% of paranormal or spooky, ghostly phenomenon on the internet. I'm a believer in ghosts, by the way. Let me know what you think of my evaluation, Christopher's evaluation, down below. Let's move on. All right, this one has been around the block, and most people who are into the paranormal are probably familiar with it. I remember watching this years ago thinking, holy crap, this is one of the best paranormal videos ever made. But then I got a little bit older, got a little bit wiser, and my suspicions of this video started to grow. So let's get into it. Before we watch the video, let's read some of the description here. So It says this video was submitted to us by a hotel security manager who was standing watch on September 14th, 2003. Keep that in mind. This was recorded in 2003. His voice can be heard in the background of the recording, whatever. And then a note on the comments is pretty important for this. It says, it's funny how people think this video is edited/fake. The audio is a mix down between the security camera audio and a separate recording from inside the office, which is specifically there to record in case of robbery to the hotel. People will always come to their own conclusions why a video is fake. Let's play the video. All right. 2003. Remember that.
What room is that?
It has not been edited. Okay. First and foremost, it has been edited. It's been edited a lot, and I'm going to show you that. Look at that. Look at the resolution of those hotel security cameras in 2003. Just for comparison, this is the hotel security camera footage of Elisa Lam in 2013, 10 years later. I mean, okay, let's just set this aside. Maybe this Wingate hotel had state-of-the-art, the best hotel security cameras at the time, but it's already a little fishy. Also, this is clearly 4.2, but the camera says it's 4.1.
John, you copy?
I just had to point that out.
It's room 209. Amy says
Take a good long look at this guy, John. I guess he's a security guard walking into the hotel. Just take a look at his face. Yeah, look at that.
nobody's checked into that room.
So according to him, the audio that you're hearing is from, I think he said the hotel manager, but it's somebody from the front desk who has an audio recording going on at the front desk.
What's going on, John?
And he's talking to somebody else named Amy.
There's no one checked.
Okay, so that is, do you hear that? That's John. That's the audio of John through the radio at the front desk.
There should be nobody in there. Wait 1 second, John. Amy, are you there? Yeah, John says he hears the screaming coming from that room. And I hear it too.
Okay, and you hear that screaming. So where is that screaming coming from? He says it's a combination of the recording from the front desk and the audio from the security cameras in the hallway. There's a big problem with that because hotel security cameras and CCTV cameras in general don't record audio. They can, but businesses and corporations don't record audio. Why? Because it could be considered a federal crime. If they're recording the private conversations of employees that are walking down the hallways, or even their people visiting the hotel, staying at the hotel, that could be a problem for legal purposes. And so generally speaking, when you see CCTV camera footage, it doesn't have audio. So like we have to assume, if this is real, we have to assume that they have like pretty much state-of-the-art cameras for 2003, and that they're also breaking the law and recording audio on their cameras.
What's going on, John?
Okay, there's John talking again on the radio.
There's no one checking
And it's
into
just
that
kind of
room.
odd that we hear the screaming so clearly, but we don't hear him talking very clearly. We don't hear him talking very clearly at all.
Yeah, John says he hears the screaming coming from that room. And I hear it too.
How does he hear it? How does the guy at the front desk hear it? Does he hear the actual screaming from the room 2 floors away? I don't think so. He's definitely not hearing it through John's radio.
But we're sure that no one's checked into that room, correct?
So John just says something there on the radio, and you don't hear it at all. You don't hear it in the cameras, and you don't hear it from the front desk audio. Wait for it. No editing. This is a cut right here.
I would wait for the police, John.
I mean, I don't even have to like try to figure out if it's a cut. That's a cut right there. Funny enough, I think it's cut because when they set this up, like he was just gonna go in to the door and pretend like he's filming. But I think what happened is that like he didn't have the right key, or like he didn't know how to open the door, and so somebody had to come like help him like open the door. So they cut it. They told him like, oh, this is how you do it, or like they gave him the right key. I don't know. That's just why I think they cut it. I just think it would be funny if that was it. But it's definitely a cut, and he said it was not edited. If you cut video, you're editing the video. So, and then obviously we see the ghost come out, like the white phantom. Keep in mind, John is not talking right now. He's not talking. You don't hear him on the radio like you heard him before. We should be able to hear him through the front desk audio.
He says no one's in there, but that all of the furniture's been turned upside down, and the hold on. He says the carpet.
When did John convey to the front desk that they need to call the police? If he's talking into his radio, we clearly heard him talking earlier. He didn't say anything. And there's another cut. Look at that. It switches cameras.
I'm officially freaked out now.
That's another cut. And you can see that like the video and the audio are just off. Like at first they were synced. I think this is just a problem with the editing in the post, because like at first the video and the audio were synced pretty well. Like he was probably acting like he was talking in the radio, and he matched it talking into the radio up with the audio, but then it got off because they had to cut the scene because he couldn't open the door. and then like he's putting the radio up to his mouth and he's not saying anything. But then like the guy at the front desk is saying that he's saying things. So it's all sorts of problems here. Okay, please continue to follow us to see more real ghost encounters. So actually it's very interesting because Jimmy Nut 22, they literally have 8 videos on their channel. This one was filmed 9 years ago. 5 years later, he comes out with the Blackwell Ghost, real ghost caught on camera documentary. The guy who made the Blackwell Ghost, his name is Turner Clay, and if you look at his IMDb, he's actually produced several like not very good movies. He claims that he's investigating a real haunting of this house. At the beginning of the Blackwell Ghost movie, Turner Clay is watching the screaming hotel ghost, and that inspires him to make this real life documentary. The whole thing is so unbelievably hokey. It purports to be real. It purports to be real findings of a ghost, but it's not. Shout outs to Matt H, one of my Patreon supporters, for making this comparison. Turner Clay, who made the Blackwell movie, he is also the security guard in the screaming hotel. So like they're literally the same person. So yeah. Anyway, there's that. But if you don't think that's legit, there is 100% irrefutable proof that the Blackwell Ghost documentary is fake, and it has to do with this newspaper clipping that he finds. And in the newspaper clipping, it purports to be from 1941. This is a shot of the house from the documentary that he's going up to, that he claims is haunted. And then this right here is the same tree. That tree right there, it's the exact same size 60 years later. Because it's totally fabricated. It's a modern picture made to look old. But this tree is still there, which is the exact same size as the tree in the 60-year-old photograph. It's fabricated. The Blackwell haunting documentary is not real. It says it's real. It's not real. The guy who made it is Turner Clay, and Turner Clay is the guy in the Screaming Hotel video, and the Screaming Hotel video is edited. He says it's not edited. The whole thing is fake. This is 100% debunked bin. Let me know. You know, I love everybody. I love everybody. But if you go out of your way, I don't even mind people who like fake or pretend to fake paranormal hauntings. But it's one thing to put out a fake ghost video. And then it's another thing to just double down on the fact that it is 100% real. It's real. It is not fake. Okay. But then when it is fake, I'm going to call you out hardcore, guys. Like, I love you guys. I love everybody, but you guys need to get another pastime or something. If you would like to read a full write-up, Skeptical Inquiry has a very in-depth analysis of this guy, Turner Clay, and the Blackwell haunting ghosts and the Screaming Hotel ghost. And they just go point after point after point of why it's all fake. So links in the description. This next one is very interesting, and it's been weighing on my mind recently. So let's just, this is the Moshpit Poltergeist. Let's just watch it really quick and then let it resonate. Look at that. Yeah. This dude just gets leveled. It's like, what the heck happened? What do you guys think of that? It's really weird, right? So I reacted to this during one of my recent live streams on the 10th of December, and I concluded that there was a cut. It was pretty clear to me that there was something goofy going on. The day before, on the 9th of December, World of Mr. Gray thought the same thing. But then in the same video, he changed his mind to say that the guy was just throwing his weight. But I still thought that there was a cut, and I set out to try to prove it. And I was researching this, and then Mr. Gray popped up again, talking about how he was now convinced that there was a cut. And he made a few points that I myself had been researching, but I'm not going to claim anything that he said. Mr. Gray gets credit for the debunk on this one. That said, if there is any doubt in anyone's minds out there, I have a few things to add to what Mr. Gray noted. And I believe that I have verifiable proof, without a shadow of a doubt, that what we're seeing here in this video, it is staged and it's 100% edited. What we are seeing is that on white shirt right here is obscuring a lot of the scene. On the left of white shirt is one scene, and then there's a cut, and on the right, it's a completely different scene. And the editor's very good, very tricky. When he picks up and he follows the second time, this scene actually, to prove that the scene on the right was actually the same, they had the guy fall to the right of the guy in the white shirt. But this actually is also a different scene from just a split second before. From here to here are two different scenes, and the editors were really good. So this is what I noticed. This guy in the middle, I agree with Mr. Gray. He could be green screen, but he like rotoscoped in there, something like that. So just a couple points. One of the reason it looks like he's being dragged is because if we frame by frame this right here, and World of Gray broke this down pretty clearly, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. So from right here, you see on the left his shoe, his foot on the ground, and then 1-2 frames later, you see his elbow right here. So he just stretched like 10 feet tall, and I thought, oh, that's clear proof that he is being edited. So my friend Joe Slinker said that that could actually be accomplished just a natural effect, a rolling shutter. And I thought, oh yeah, that I hadn't really thought of that until he mentioned that, and that actually could account for that. And there is rolling shutter going on in this clip because the camera's panning back and forth pretty quickly, and what is happening is that the shutter is going down from the top of the screen to the bottom, and as the camera pans, it distorts the image. So like it's possible that rolling shutter could account for this, him being like 10 feet tall. There's his foot, there's his elbow. I'm not entirely sure though, but we're going to take it further. This is actually a different scene because right here, as World of Grey Mister pointed out, there's this piece of trash by his foot where there was no trash by his foot at all. So it's a different scene just by that piece of trash alone. But you might say within those fractions of a second, somebody might have thrown a piece of trash in there. That's a quick piece of trash. Okay. I feel like I have something here that's going to push this over the top, that's going to prove it once and for all. So Mr. Gray said that from the left to the right, the shadows, the lighting all looks pretty consistent. And at first glance, it does kind of look pretty consistent. So you have like the shadows at the bottom here, kind of going at a 65-degree angle. They're kind of pointed at a 65-degree angle right about there. And then the camera pans over here and you see it's almost like a 65, 70-degree angle. And you say there shouldn't be any problem there. The sun is just kind of over in that direction. Okay, I broke this down a little bit further. We look at the left of White Shirt. We see that these shadows are at about a 65-degree angle. And on the right of White Shirt, they're at about a 70-degree angle right here. This is about 70 degrees. You might say, well, that's fine. The angle is fine. It's not though, because of how much he pans the camera. So right here represents, see black shorts right there? See black shorts right there? Checkered shirt. Right here. This represents the guy holding the camera right here. This represents White Shirt obscuring the view. And this represents black shorts right there, that circle. And you see a shadow right there? That shadow is about 65-degree angle. Pull this over to right about here. That red, yeah, we see about a 65-degree angle. And at some point, he pans the camera further to the left and the shadows are pointing directly at the camera. And this is a good example right here. So like right there, the shadows are pointing right at the camera. So in this instance, this is representing the shadows that are pointing right at the camera right there. So there's the sun, there's the line, and then this is black shorts, and his shadow is about a 65-degree angle, and it's, you cross these lines and that's where the sun is in the sky. He pans, and kind of the question is how far does he pan to the right? So this is on the right of White Shirt. When he's pointing the camera closer to the stage, we see that these people have shadows. Their shadows are about 75 to 80 degree. And it's a little different, 65 to 70-ish, but it's really significant because he pans the camera. And this is actually what we look at. These people right here to the right, when he pans the camera to the right of White Shirt, he's pointing to the stage right here. And these people's shadows have about a 75-degree angle. And this is what we see. The sun has to be in this line somewhere. But over here, this 65-degree angle, the sun has to be over here. And you might say, well, he didn't pan the camera that much. Well, even if he didn't pan the camera that much, we can rotate this. Let's just assume that he rotated it. He panned the camera 90 degrees. So like from this red line should be straight like 90 degrees like that. The shadows still don't line up. This red line represents where the shadows are going. Over here, this is where the shadows are going. Even if he pans the camera 90 degrees or more, it's just the further he goes, the more exaggerated the shadow difference is. And I hope I explained that well, but that is, to me, that is proof that these are two separate scenes. On the surface of it, it looks like the shadows are pointed the same direction, but you have to account for the point of view of the camera and which way it's facing in relation to where the sun is. So to me, this is it. And you might be asking yourself, why on earth? Why on earth would anybody like fake this? How would they fake it? Might be a dead man. It might be a dead man. Like they might have had like a rope attached to him, like Mr. Gray said. I don't really know how he got pulled back. It does seem like something physically yanked him back. I'm not sure, but what I am sure is that this is faked. It was staged. It was at the same concert, but it was filmed at a different time. So you might be asking yourself, why would anybody do that? So I think Mr. Gray thought maybe it was like a student project or something like that. So if we actually look, this is the original uploader, Rock and Metal News. And if you read the description, of all the crazy stuff our crew got footage of yesterday at Mayhem, this pit was a kicker. Never seen anyone get leveled like this guy. WTF. Please subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. Like us on Facebook. These guys are a rock and metal news YouTube channel. They cover all this stuff. And they had people there at the Mayhem concert in 2011 with a camera to film this. And they had a pretty good editor to make a viral video to get people to subscribe to their metal and news YouTube channel. And they are active to this very day. In fact, they posted a video 15 hours ago. I actually did reach out to them and ask them if they faked that. 11 years ago, maybe they'd admit to it, but I didn't get anything back. So that's the motivation. They had a rock and roll, heavy metal YouTube channel. And that is that, guys. A legend springing from Worstead in the UK says that a woman in white haunts a chapel there, and that a man in 1830 went to prove it a myth. On Christmas Eve, merry belated Christmas, by the way, he climbed the tower, and when he didn't return, his friends went looking for him. They found him huddled up in the corner, shaking uncontrollably, and he said, "I have seen her." Then right then and there, he died. This story was unknown to Peter and Diana Berthelot when they visited the church in 1975. Peter snapped this photo of what he thought was only his wife. After developing the film, they were astounded to see this strange, phantom-like woman sitting behind Diana. They showed the vicar of the parish the photo, and that's when he related the story of the White Lady of Worstead to them. To this day, they believe that this is a genuine photo of a spirit apparition. Now, I have spoken with professional photographers about this image, and one thing I think is certain is that whatever this is, it's not a camera anomaly or an artifact. It's not double exposure. What that is, it's really there in physical space behind Diana, reflecting light into the camera lens. But what is it really? Is it really a ghost? Or was it just a person sitting there and Peter and Diana Berthelot just forgot that there was someone behind her? I don't know. That seems a little weird to me, but perhaps it's not a person, but a Samoyed dog like this. We look a little bit closer. Look at this a little bit closer. If that is a dog, it's like sniffing. It's up on the bench and it's sniffing the pews. It's sniffing for something. It probably is not holding very still. It's actively searching for something. So the average shutter speed of cameras in 1975 is about 2 to 3 seconds. If this was a dog, you would expect to see a lot more motion blur than what we're seeing right now. So at first I thought maybe it was a dog. There was a dog in the church, but that would be a crazy theory. However, I don't actually believe anymore that it's a dog. Upon further inspection, if we look at this a little bit closer, so it looks like it looks like these are feet. It looks like there are shoes right here. And that this person is actually sitting on the pew. So it's just a person sitting behind them that they forgot about, right? Matt H had this to say. Localized overexposure, light flare is a real thing, and you can see it again on the table next to the black door archway. But whoever is sitting there would have had to have been wearing a very reflective cardigan or jacket to reflect that much light, and their face wouldn't be blown out like that. I am very on the fence about this one, as I can explain away some things, but not everything. You know, it starts to become clear that this is the person's nose right here, and their mouth, their chin, and that this looks like a brim of a bonnet, right? And then the bonnet goes back here, and it's holding all of her hair in, and this little black tuft right here is some of her hair poking out of the side. And if you look really closely, if we zoom in a little bit further here, it almost looks like this is really strange. This is really strange. It does look like that some of Diane's yellow clothing is also kind of refracting off of this woman back here. To me, it looks like a woman wearing a brimmed bonnet. And why would anybody be wearing a brimmed bonnet for like going to sleep in a church like this? This is a physical person there in this photograph. And to me, this person is wearing a bonnet. And it's really hard to make out, and I don't think I can show it in this video because it's really very minute detail, but I almost feel like I can see a braided hair coming right off the tuft right here, going down here. I don't know. If this was a real person, that person is wearing a bonnet. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think people wore bonnets like that in 1975. They wore bonnets like that in the 1800s and prior. To me, this is one of the most convincing pieces of evidence for the paranormal. I genuinely believe that this is an actual photograph of a spirit. That said, I'm willing to look at this objectively. If any of you out there can point to why there would be a woman sitting there wearing a bonnet, or if you can show some other detail about this photograph that I haven't addressed or explained, or if there's something else out there that I don't know about, please let me know. Comment down below, and I would love World of Mr. Gray to take a look at this photograph, and I'd love to hear your conclusion. Otherwise, this is a 9. This is a 9 for me on my list. That's going to do it, guys, for today's top 5 claims of the paranormal and my evaluation of them. If you like this video, please make sure to like it. Like it with every single one of your YouTube accounts, and let's get this in the YouTube algorithm. And stay tuned for next Monday, a new Moonlit tale. I will see you guys next Monday. And remember, keep an eye out and stay paranormal.